My name is McLean Sibanda, Managing Director for Big and Global Limited, Infrastructure Development Specialist throughout the continent. I think this evening we've had a very wonderful conversation with the BMF Sandton branch, looking at just transition on energy and looking at sustainability for the country. Some emerging themes from the conversation this evening is that the just transition cannot happen without everybody being on board. It's quite important that there's be engagement with those that are likely to be impacted. But also, what has come out this evening is the fact that the transition is not something that's going to happen overnight.
This has been a very prestigious event, and I'm grateful for the Sandton branch for such an event. We had a conversation that was very intriguing, that we had to speak about energy in the context of South Africa and the complications that we as a country are going through. However, there's still a lot of hope, and we can produce that hope by us giving back, especially women. Once you give back, you create opportunities, and once you create opportunities, then it's a domino effect. So once we start looking into that aspect of us as a country, we'll get to the right place. So I'm very grateful for what happened today.
Today's program was centered around how, as the branch, we can affect the proper policy, the proper focus and conversations around the just transition, with a pointed discussion on whether or not South Africa is moving towards energy sustainability. Now, this brings into focus various social partners. We have had broad and very pointed conversation with labor, with business, with science and innovation experts. And the then aim of that is to bring as many social partners together and have a connecting of the dots exercise. As we all know that we are in a country wherein the vast majority of the lower LSM is without proper and adequate jobs, proper and adequate economic activity. The just transition of energy creates a very important situation within our country that can alleviate a broad range of the lower LSM into a much higher economic activity. And that involves the Black Management Forum creating and then lobbying and advocating for the right policy, for the right market transactions that then involve the broad-based economic empowerment policies, and how we can then affect the correct amount of change within the market, keeping a very pointed eye towards transformation and the development of managerial leadership. And we hope that as the branch, that as you are then engaging with this content, as you are then engaging with our policy position, as you are then engaging with us on how we can create a much more fruitful conversation around this, that you will then enjoy this, and that you will have more conversation with us, and that you will leave edified, knowing a great deal more as you leave than when you came in.
Thank you for being a part of this really auspicious occasion where we're engaging in the heart of our economy, energy. And this is only the beginning. We're hoping to have more engagement, not just within BMF Sandton, but to involve broad stakeholders like we've done today. We brought in labor, we brought in innovators, we brought technical experts. We're really looking forward to running another episode of this discussion. And I think the big thing for me from today, my big takeaway, is that there's massive opportunities for entrepreneurs who are willing to harness and take advantage of some of the opportunities that are out there to either go into mining, which is more legacy sort of plays, looking at the knowledge and experience that they might have from that sector to look at different minerals and move away from coal. But the big opportunities I've seen are in advances in hydrogen, and hydrogen as an energy source. We had a lot of interesting discussions around that, and I believe that in our follow-up discussions we will dig deeper into these as options and possibilities for not just our members but for broader society as well. I would also really like to thank PPS for partnering with us in this particular event. We're massively aligned with them, especially on transformation, where members of PPS, people who join PPS, become shareholders, become a part of PPS as the owners of PPS. So we're really looking forward to working more with them and all of the other organizations like CSIR. Thank you.
And basically what I took as a young person is that there are going to be a lot of job opportunities. Yes, there will be losses for some of the industries, fossil fuels, we get that, but for the new upcoming economy, for the new renewables, energy, there will be new job creation, and with that there will be a need for skills. There'll be a need for skills upgrading, and I think that the institutions or educational institutions will have a gap to actually fill. And maybe other entities, private entities, will have a gap to fill where they will be able to upskill young professionals or young people who are unemployed to get into this industry, to get into this job space, which also comes back to the engineering space. What exactly needs to be done, and going down to root level, grassroots levels, what has to be done with basic education? Where do we need to start with the young children? What do we need to teach them? Obviously, it won't happen in the next 10 to 20 years. It will be a long time from now, but it will definitely benefit us in the long run. So I think that for our young professionals now and for our little children coming up, there will be a lot of great opportunities in this space. So that's basically what I took from today, and I'm really grateful to have been here to take part in this and to hear all of the contributions that came from today.
A big word of thanks to the BMF for giving us the opportunity as the council, for being part of such an important discussion, and to my colleagues for the really intriguing unpacking of the opportunities that arise for South Africa. And I think it's just growingly clear that we as a country are already undergoing a large transition, that we have a huge opportunity to leverage our renewable and mineral resources for the benefit of the people of the Republic, and that we need to work with partners to do that. We need to unpack the details of what this new energy economy looks like, the new industries that are going to be created, the new export markets into the likes of green hydrogen, green fuels, green chemicals, and how we're going to do that in a fair and just way. So it was really great to be part of that panel, also sharing with our colleagues the opportunities that we as the CSIR are seeing in this techno-economic space, and also the important role of programs such as the Energy Industry Support Program that we as the CSIR are looking to develop with partners such as the BMF, EWCTA, SAICA ED, and others, to be able to create a platform for energy entrepreneurs to be able to develop their businesses, to incubate their ideas, to create the future energy entrepreneurs that's going to drive this economy. That we do that in an inclusive and just way. So really, really, really privileged and honored to have had the opportunity to be part of that with my team at the CSIR, and looking forward to seeing where the continued conversations will take us as an industry and as a country. So thanks very much for the opportunity.
We're transitioning at a pace where communities, villages in Mpumalanga, Eastern Cape, KZN may be the worst hit. Questions we need to ask ourselves: what are we doing to assist these communities? All too often when we speak of JET, we speak of technologies, we speak of innovation, we speak of new things. What are we doing to address the socio-economic impact and, most importantly, the social compact that we have with these communities? And this is the conversation that needs to drive just energy transition going forward. We cannot afford to leave people behind. We cannot afford further unemployment. We cannot afford further inequality. Just energy transition going forward has to address all of our social ills, but more importantly, carry the hopes and the dreams of South Africans into the future.
Our PPS and BMF coming through and coming together to discuss a very, very important topic that speaks to energy. And I mean, if anything, we've all now realized as a country that energy is the lifeline of our economy. So it's important, especially from us as PPS. I work for PPS. I'm the general manager at PPS. I'm also head of corporate partnerships at PPS and also head of PPS Virtual. We saw the light, really, and even as a business, we do have a team that is actually looking into energy matters as we speak right now, purely because energy is the lifeline of our country, of our economy, and we cannot divorce the fact that we are a significant player as corporate South Africa into the energy mix, whether being made from a financing standpoint. PPS, for example, as a financial services provider, we do not play into the type of space that would be traditional as far as energy is concerned. But it doesn't mean that it is not concerning to us, because we are consumers of it, because our members are custodians of the work that is being done in the energy space. So it is important for us as custodian of their wealth to see to it that we show support and we encourage them, and we say to them as well, the spaces that you operate in are spaces that we are also concerned about, are spaces that we are very appreciative of you for actually operating those particular spaces for us. So we do our best to see to it that we take care of you from a financial standpoint with your personal matters, and we appreciate what you do for us to ensure that the lights are on, to ensure that the sustainability, that we have the right energy mix, that it evolves towards clean energy over a strategic period of time, and that ultimately we prepare a world and we lay we lay the land, prepare a world of the next generation.
From our deputy chair, we'd like to thank our panelists for making the time on a Tuesday, very odd day to have a very serious conversation, and also preparing for the conversation. There's a lot of preparation that goes with hosting an event like this, but a lot of preparation that goes with sitting in front of people and actually having insightful words to share. And I really appreciated the fact that a lot of you, thank you very much for giving the event the gravitas and the importance that it really needed as a topic. Energy is at the heart of society, and whether it was the Egyptians then or any other big civilized society, energy is at the heart of development, and we hope to carry on walking this journey with you. We hope to put the bolts back on to things like that electric vehicle that someone mentioned. That's also in your book, Nuts and Bolts, but yeah, we're hoping to put the bolts back on. And yeah, we'd like to thank you again for leading this conversation.
With us turning 20 years, and we understand that we are walking on the shoulders of giants. With that 20 years, this program is one of many which will be taking into cognizance how far the country is within its development agenda and how far the country is in championing true transformation, with a broad range of our then BMF partners, influential social beings, and also our valued members within the branch. And the then panel today represents a few of our partners moving forward. And it means a lot to us that we are speaking about technologies, elements such as hydrogen, and we do wish to take such conversations forward along with a number of others. And as a branch and as the then BMF, we can affirm that we will take the necessary action to then move forward with that conversation. There's a great deal of connecting of dots that has to be done, and we are then prepared to do so. It is quite necessary of us to always take into cognizance that we don't need to fight one another in order to reach the finish line, that we do need to work together, and by working together we can do more.